Food for Thought with Professor David Dete.
Welcome to Food for Thought with Professor Dete. Thank you so much for tuning in. OCD, Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. We began this conversation a couple of weeks ago, and today we are bringing it to wraps. Let's go back to where we left it off last week. Just trying to think even of a school scenario. If you have a person in school who is that kind of a person, would they be a difficult student to deal with?
You are thinking, say, a child in a high school?
Yeah, or even college.
Or even college?
Yes.
I think this is the way they would present, in my view. They would have this problem going on in their heads. These thoughts that are preoccupying their minds all the time.
Yeah.
And they are very constrained in terms of how they can express them out, because somebody will tell them, I don't want that nonsense.
Yeah.
And if you do it again, you'll see me.
Yes.
So they keep it on
to themselves.
And they will not be able to read. They will not be able to concentrate on what is happening in the classroom.
Yeah.
Their performance goes down, and we may think these people are not necessarily interested in work, because when you are in class, you need to concentrate. You need to listen to the teacher. Your mind should be there.
Yeah.
If you are reading something, your mind should be on what you are reading. But when you are reading and you cannot concentrate on this and you are thinking about other things,
yes,
then will you read?
Lastly, as we finish, because I can see time is gone.
Okay.
To that person who's listening to us, and they can actually connect the dots. Because some of the things we have talked about, they can actually say, that is how I am. This is how I like doing my things. Or I have those thoughts I've never told anybody, because they're crazy thoughts. And they keep coming and they keep coming, and sometimes I don't know how do I handle this? What would you advise them to do?
It's not, number one, it's not your mistake. It's not your fault. If you have malaria, it's not your fault. If you are sneezing and you got a flu, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
If you have a running stomach, it's not your fault. Yeah. So that is the beginning. Yeah, it's a problem. I can be helped.
Okay.
Let me look for the person who can help me. Maybe a family member, maybe a workmate, or maybe a pastor, or maybe somebody I trust. Yes, but don't keep it to yourself. You're the one who's going to suffer. And you don't know how eventually it will spill off. You don't know what will happen. So do something about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Thank you for this information. I think these conversations are very important, especially in this day. Like I said at the beginning, when we began this series, a couple of weeks ago, a friend of mine just committed suicide. And we have a lot of young people, or even older people, who are going through mental health issues. And because these are not things we talk about openly, we don't know who to talk to. We lock ourselves up, and it's not pretty. Yeah. What would you tell our young people? Because our young people are under so much pressure. Not necessarily concerning the topic we've been looking at, but generally where mental health issues are concerned. I've realized, even in just speaking to young people in church, I realize our young people are under so much pressure. They have pressure about wanting to make it in life. Our young ladies are under so much pressure. They think they're not pretty enough because of all these things they are seeing around them, especially online. They think they don't measure up. And so, all these negative thoughts are just building up and building up in them. What would you tell them?
Well, this is what I would tell them. And as I am telling them, I am also telling their parents. Young people, when they have pressures of all kinds, when either at work or in school, or they feel that there's a problem at home and things like that, the nearest, and we see this. You see children, and I think we see it all over the world. It's not that if a child is, say, having an issue with the mom or dad, and the mom or dad does not quite agree, don't go on the play on the road. It's very dangerous for you. And if you do it, I will spank you. Oh, you people, nobody loves me.
Yes.
You don't love me. I'm useless to you. I better... I wish I was dead. That is the commonest mechanism children tend to deal with issues. They started developing suicidal ideas. And these suicidal ideas develop into suicidal plans. These suicidal plans develop into attempts of their lives. And of course, if they die, we cannot talk to them. Suicidal ideas are very, very common in children. I don't want to cause an alarm by telling you the figures. Yeah. And when I look at the figures, we're talking about Kenya, these are figures that are obtained in Kenya. They are similar to what is happening in other parts of the world. Then those, say, if you have children with those suicidal, half of them, 25% of them, that is, half of them, those, if you have, say, 100 children with those suicidal ideas, 50 of them will start thinking about suicidal plans. How can I do it? And they have pretty good ideas. And you see, I was flabbergasted. I mean, they will tell you. I was planning to go and do a BCD. I don't think I should say that now. And I thought about this, I thought about this, I thought about that, about 4 main ones.
Yes.
Yeah. And these will be, I mean, not in this forum. And then, out of those, you see, with 100 with this suicidal, 50%, that is 50 of those with this, then 25% will attempt suicide.
Wow.
The interesting is, there are very many children who in their own ways have attempted suicide, although we may not have known.
Wow. That's alarming.
It's very alarming. And so I think it's when you get the data and you know how you see, you know, this is what they have, this is what they are planning to do, and this is how they plan to do it. And then you can put an intervention. Yeah, because to prevent those suicidal ideas being transmitted, plunged into action. As I said, I will not go into that. Not in this forum. But these simple observations have been put into very good use in very many countries. Like in big towns, you know, where people wait for trains. And you can imagine somebody who is very depressed and they say, the easiest way for me to die is to throw myself into that oncoming train. And they do. Or they used to. So, since they knew people knew how they commit suicide, so they modified the railway stations so that when the trains arrives, you can only go through a door. There is no way you can throw yourself. Okay. People start saying people throw themselves from heights. They decided, let's put some kind of some kind of barrier so that they can't do that. So what I'm really trying is make observation, see how people do it to harm themselves, and then put measures into place that they will not be able to do those things. Yes.
Wow. Professor, asante sana. Unfortunately, our time is up. It's always quite informative to have these conversations with you. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. You are most welcome.
Asante sana. I hope this information is beneficial to you, and I hope you're spreading the word around for people to get to know more about mental health issues. We live in a society today where mental health is a big thing. A lot of people struggling with mental health issues, and they don't know who to talk to because of the stigma that is still associated with some of these issues. You know, back in the day when we were growing up, if you hear somebody has got mental health issues, we would say, we were in madhare case. And there was quite a stigma associated with that. It's still there. So spread this information around and let people know that we have discussions every Friday on JAM 316 on mental health issues. And if you missed the Friday, you can check out on YouTube, because we post them all on YouTube. Look for Family Media, access them, share them with friends. Until next week, when we begin another topic, have a great weekend.
Food for Thought with Professor David Bitte.
Thank you for watching. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get notified whenever we upload new fresh content every day. Stay tuned and enjoy fresh, uplifting content.